This is Electric Universe Geology Earth News. Today we're going to talk about metamorphic rock. I just happened to live down here in a little town called Whitewater a few years ago. And I go walking all through these areas. And I found it fascinating. Just beautiful mountains over here, San Jacinto, big mountains up here. The San Andreas Fault, the southern branch of the San Andreas Fault, runs right up to here. From this point to the west, it's referred to as the Banning Fault, but it's basically the same thing. So it's active tectonically. There are some things that could potentially move. And right about here, zoom in, I'd go walking and I'd see a difference between this formation and this formation. There was a difference in color, difference in texture. I have photographs that I'll show you, but this is the general area that we're going to be discussing. Right through here and right through here. So let's go to the photographs now. This is that little valley to the east, the right-hand side of the map. This is a little valley to the west. You can see a real distinct difference between this and then all the other little canyons up here that appear to be this color, not this color. This little canyon is not enclosed. There's a little bump here, but it doesn't really have a right-hand side. There's a left-hand side like this, but there's nothing like this on the right-hand side or the east side to hold in plasma, which is what I think changed the color over here, but didn't change it here because there was nothing on the right to confine it as it was going towards the north. And I think that's the reason for all of these gray formations, which are high-grade metamorphic. I have pictures to show you what I'm talking about. This is the right-hand little canyon. You can see that it's sediment and that it actually trends towards the left and away from the camera. The same as the other canyon. The exact same trending, leaving me to believe that they're both sedimentary from the air, building back and up into the wind with conglomerate hitting the ground, growing where it's dry. This is up above the flood. This is the edge of the flood, probably towards the end of the accumulation process. As the water's receding, this area gets little tiny formations where the top of the mountain was dry longer, so it has much larger formations. Now we'll look at the other side. This is the little canyon to the left. It has the same trending, the same hallmarks of sedimentary material in some sort of a duning process, but I don't think it was duning. I think it was more like a welded tough process, but in this case not welded, just tough, conglomerate, rocks and dirt accumulating with the wind coming towards us and from the left a little bit. This image shows the layers nicely. You can see that they're trending away. You can see that underneath of the darker area there's some lighter stuff where material's been removed, implying that it's light colored just like the other area underneath of the gray metamorphic material, high grade metamorphic, I might add. This is a friend of mine looking at the formation. He looks like he's really seeing something interesting. You can see the layers trending away, and you can see this area where there's a hole, and it looks like it's been fried with a torch, like an acetylene torch came along and heated it and melted it, along with the rest of the area that at one time was just sediment, but now it's high-grade metamorphic. This is that area that looks like it was heated with a blowtorch. You can see there's still layers going through. I have other pictures I'll show you with the layers. But something really wicked this way came. And I believe that it was concentrated as it entered that little canyon. And then as the canyon gets wider, it loses the concentration, the current density goes down, it's no longer metamorphic, it's just sedimentary again. And then when the canyon gets more narrow, it becomes metamorphic again, as if the plasma is being compressed and squeezed and getting hotter and more active and able to squeeze and heat more, producing this metamorphic rock in situ. I believe it has nothing to do with the fact that it's close to a fault, by the way. I don't think there was any squeezing involved with a fault. It would not be spotty the way it is, in my opinion, if it was squeezed by a fault, which would be one explanation of the metamorphic process. But I believe this is electrically produced, and I think that most, if not all, metamorphic rock is produced in situ, electrically. Has nothing to do with a magic elevator burying it 20 miles deep and then bringing it back up again. Or it's not contact metamorphism as granite comes up from below and pushes against things and squeezes and heats them. I believe it's electrical. All of the gneiss and schist and all of this stuff is electrical. So this is where we were. This is not metamorphic. Seems like the wind's coming this way. This is metamorphic. At the beginning of the canyon, not so much here, but here again it starts to become metamorphic again. And then all the way up this face of this mountain, you see the same process, as if a current was coming from the south, possibly southeast, moving in this direction, zapping the sediment into metamorphic rock, which again would never be considered by a geologist. It's just not an option that they would have in their toolkit. Thank you very much.